Good morning to one and all, respected dignitaries, honorable speakers, esteemed faculty members, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's insightful and knowledge-enriching webinar. We are truly honored by the presence of our distinguished guests and resource persons who have kindly agreed to share their valuable expertise with us. I am honored to announce the name of the president of the function, none other than our beloved principal, Honorable Professor Dr. Mrunal Bharadwaj, ma'am. And let's begin today's webinar on a positive and enthusiastic note with the due permission of our versatile principal, Honorable Professor Dr. Mrunal Bharadwaj, ma'am. Ma'am, may
Yes,
we
yes, you can proceed. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. The webinar titled People, Problems and Progress, Literary and Economics Perspective underscores the interdisciplinary nature of contemporary research by exploring the intersection of literature and economics. It aims to illuminate how narratives, social identities, and institutional frameworks influence economic development and societal progress. By bringing together scholars from literature and economics, the webinar seeks to examine the complex relationship between cultural discourse and economic realities. The event encourages pluralistic, innovative, and interdisciplinary approaches to address present pressing social and economic challenges through meaningful research and policy recommendations. Let me please brief about departments, both the departments working here. Department of English, established in 1971, the Department of English has steadfastly upheld a tradition of academic excellence and intellectual rigor. With a strong emphasis on critical thinking and effective communication, the department plays a pivotal role in shaping the linguistic and literary competence of students across diverse disciplines. The department offers English as both a core and specialized subject, and ensuring that learners acquire a robust foundation in language proficiency, while also exploring advanced areas of literature and literary studies. Through its curriculum and pedagogical practices, the department fosters a deep appreciation for literary heritage, encourages scholarly inquiry, and
Ma'am is muted.
okay, sorry for the inconvenience. In line with the National Education Policy NEP 2020, the Department of English actively promotes skill-based learning, experiential education, and interdisciplinary engagement. It is dedicated to empowering students with the analytical, creative, and communicative skills necessary to thrive in a rapidly evolving world. Department of Economics, established with a vision to cultivate analytical excellence, the Department of Economics is dedicated to nurturing sharp economic thinking and deep socio-economic awareness among students. Through a balanced blend of theory and practical application, the department empowers learners to comprehend the intricate dynamics of contemporary economics and social structures. The department places strong emphasis on research-oriented learning, encouraging students to explore economic phenomena through empirical investigation, policy analysis, and data-driven methodologies. By fostering a culture of critical inquiry, the department enables students to interpret real-world challenges such as inequality, unemployment, globalization, and sustainable development with clarity and insight. In alignment with evolving global demands, the department promotes a curriculum that blends economic theory with quantitative skills and policy understanding. Through seminars, workshops, and research initiatives, students are trained to analyze complex issues, make informed decisions, and contribute meaningfully to policy discourse. Now, to give us an overview of our esteemed institution, I request Professor Imran Ahmed to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful webinar. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here with you today. I am Professor Imran Ahmad, Academic in charge at Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir Arts, Commerce and Science College, Maligaon Autonomous. It's my great honor to share with you information about our college. Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir Arts, Commerce and Science College, Maligaon City Autonomous was established in 1971 to provide higher education, especially to needy, poor and minority students. The main aim of the college is to develop students into responsible and capable individuals who can work for the welfare of the society and the nation. The college keeps itself updated with changing times and prepares students to face the challenges of globalization and growing world of knowledge. It actively promotes academic research and has modern instruments and equipments for the research. Initially, the college started with arts and commerce faculties. Later, it introduced MCOM in 2008, BSc in 2014, BVOC in 2018, and BSc in 2024, and MSc Zoology. The college has been recognized as a research center in commerce also. The college completed the third cycle of NAC re-accreditation with B++ grade in 2023. With autonomous status, the college has great freedom in curriculum design, evaluation, and academic governance. This helps in improving academic excellence and providing quality education, and according to national and global standards. With this brief overview of our college, uh, this was a brief overview of our college. Thank you very much for kind attention. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for presenting the vision and achievements of our college so beautifully. To highlight the purpose and objectives of today's webinar, I invite Honorable Dr. Shakib Ahmed to share his thoughts. सर बकफ जो रहते हैं सरफराज रहते हैं तो फतन किसी को भी अजमतें नहीं मिलती शकीब सर प्लीज
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are
Right,
audible.
sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm Professor Shakib, and
Sir, you are not audible.
सर I'm not audible sir.
hello.
Now you are
Hello.
audible, sir.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. Good morning, everyone. I'm Professor Shakir Ahmed, IQC coordinator of the college. It's my privilege to briefly present the aims and objective of today's webinar on the topic People, Problem, Progress, Literary and Economic Perspective. The main aim of this webinar is to understand the close relationship between literature and economic and how both disciplines help us understand society better. Through this session, we aim to explore how literature reflects social realities and how economic condition influences people's life and progress. The object of this webinar are to encourage critical thinking among students, to develop an interdisciplinary approach to learning and to create awareness about social and economic challenges. We also aim to promote academic discussion, research interest, and a deeper understanding of human development from both literary and economic perspective. We hope that this webinar will broaden intellectual outlook of our students and inspire them to connect theory with real life issues. Thank you.
Thank you sir for clearly explaining the aims and objectives of this program. Now this is time for the presidential speech and I am honored to invite our dear Honorable Principal Professor Dr. Mrinal Bhardwaj with this couplet. कभी न खत्म किया मैंने रोशनी का सफर जहां चिराग बुझा दिल जला लिया मैंने. Ma'am, I request you to enlighten us with your beautiful words.
Thank you, Saima ma'am. Good morning to one and all. It truly gives me happiness to connect with all of you today, even though we are meeting virtually. As a principal of Arts, Commerce, and Science College, Malegaon City, which is being autonomous college, and Saima ma'am, Shakib sir, and Imran sir has given a brief introduction about the college, the aims and objectives. The college is being established in 1971, and recently we have been given the autonomy by UGC and Savitribai Phule Pune University. And with this great support of our management, all the esteemed management representatives, we are being, taking various quality initiatives. And this particular webinar is being the part of that initiative. I am truly honored to be the part of this particular webinar, which is being based on the theme People, Problems, Progress, Economic and Literary Perspectives. First of all, I would like to warmly welcome our respected speakers, Dr. Rama Devi and Dr. Muhammad Ansari sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being with us. At the same note, I congratulate the Department of Economics, the head of the department, Rizwana ma'am, and the English department, Akhtar sir, for organizing a webinar on a beautiful theme. I really deeply connected to this theme when we decided this particular. Yes, am I audible?
Ma'am, your video is off.
Yes, there is a range issue, sir.
Okay.
So I have kept it like that. Uh, okay. Coming to the point, I really feel deeply connected to this particular theme. And when we were deciding this title of this particular webinar, I honestly did not see as it is as an academic topic, but I saw people when we decided. I saw a young graduate checking their phone again and again, hoping for the one job call. I saw a parent sitting quietly at night, adjusting expenses, cutting down personal comfort so that their child's education continues. I saw a student, maybe even one of ours, smiling on the screen, answering questions confidently, but slightly worrying about the future. Since I belong to psychology, as a psychologist, I cannot separate economics and literature from it. Economics cannot be separated from emotions. When we talk about unemployment, inflation, inequality, we are not just talking about policies. We are talking about stress, self doubt, family pressures, and sometimes unspoken fear. Economics tells us what is happening, and literature helps us feel what it is like. And psychology is, tries to understand what it does to the human mind. And that is why this theme is so alive for me. Progress is not only about infrastructure or growth rates, it is about whether a person feels secure and whether a student feels confident, whether the dreams are being fulfilled, if the dreams are being possible. And in our college, we see this every day. It is happening. When a shy student gathers courage to speak, that is progress. When a first generation learner graduates, that is a progress. When education builds confidence, not just degrees, that is real progress. So today, I hope that this particular seminar, which is multidisciplinary in nature, combining all the social sciences, particularly focusing on perspectives of economics and literature, it becomes
पास
more
गया
than
मैं उनका बैकग्राउंड चेंज करता लेकिन वो इतने बिजी है मतलब क्या चेंज करना चलो
Sir, keep your this thing, I hope that this particular webinar it becomes a meaningful dialogue, space where numbers meet stories and policies meet people. Because behind every statistic there is a human being, and that human being matters. Being a psychologist, I always observe behaviors and we study mental processes. So I feel that this particular webinar will be surely focusing on the perspectives of literature and economics, and also combining the perspectives of other social sciences. I congratulate all the organizing committee members for choosing such a beautiful theme. I think it's a unique theme, and they are focusing on that. Once again, I welcome all the dignitaries, the speakers, and there is also a paper presentation session and lot of research papers we have received from so many research scholars. And this particular webinar will be surely benefit. It will be beneficial for all of us, and such kind of initiatives will be continued in coming future also. On behalf of Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir, as well as on behalf of Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir's Arts, Commerce and City College, uh, which is an autonomous college, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the very warm and gracious address. Indeed. Now, I request Professor Akhtar Shah to introduce our first esteemed resource person, Professor Dr. Muhammad Shahid Jamal Ansari. Professor Akhtar.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to everyone. I'm Professor Akhtar, HOD of Department of English. It is an immense pleasure and honor to me to introduce our noble resource person for today's webinar. Yeah, he is none other than Dr. Muhammad Shahid Jamal Ansari, Assistant Professor and Head of the Department of Economics at AKI, Pune College of Art, Science and Commerce, Pune. Dr. Ansari has completed his MA in Economics and PhD from Aligarh Muslim University. He has qualified UGC NET examination. Let me tell you his specialty that his research mainly focuses on public health expenditures and its impact on human development in India. He has more than 30 years of teaching experience. Before joining Pune College in 2016, he served at Daulat Ram College, University of Delhi. His teaching career reflects dedication, commitment, and academic excellence. Dr. Ansari has a strong research experience. He has successfully guided PhD scholars who have been awarded a degree, and currently 5 students are pursuing their PhD under his supervision. He has worked for several research projects, and one of the project was UGC major research project titled A Collaborative Study of Human Development with a special reference to underprivileged section of the society. He has written 9 books and published 32 research papers in reputed national and international journals. He has also delivered lectures as a resource person in many conferences, seminars, workshops, and faculty development programs. We are truly honored to have such a remarkable personality with us with today's webinar. Sir, we warmly welcome you and look forward to your valuable guidance and insightful session. We believe that this session will be beneficial for all of us. We are so honored to having you here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Akhtar. Now, I request Professor Jasmine Ansari to introduce our second guest speaker, second resource person, Dr. S. Rema Devi. Please, Jasmine ma'am, over to you.
Morning, respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, dear participants and students. It's a moment of great pride and privilege for me to introduce our esteemed resource person, Dr. S. Rima Devi, a renowned academician, researcher, author, and mentor in the field of English studies. Dr. S. Rima Devi completed her PhD on establishing spaces, the women's psyche in the novels of Jayashri Misra, reflect reflecting her deep engagement with women writing and feminist literary discourse. She also holds an MPhil degree focusing on segregation struggle and subalternity in Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things, and her master's dissertation examined Salman Rushdie's shape as a socio-political satire. Her areas of specialization include women writing, Indian writing in English, postmodern literature, film studies, graphic literature also. She has guided postgraduate student and research scholars and has significantly contributed to academic development through mentoring and supervision. Her scholarly excellence is reflected in her numerous publications in reputed national and international journals, including Scopus Index Journal also. She is the author of notable books. Her research Her research interests expand into contemporary themes such as gender studies, marginalization, sustainability, culture studies, identity politics, and digital literature. She has presented papers at various national and international conferences and has actively participated in academic workshops and faculty development programs. Dr. S. Rima Devi has also organized international conferences, seminars, and workshops contributing immensely to academic leadership and institutional growth. Her dedication to research and teaching has earned her recognition and award at various academic platforms. She has served as a resource person in many prestigious academic forums and has delivered insightful lectures on contemporary literary theories, gender discourse, and emerging trends in English studies. With her rich academic experience, intellectual depth, and commitment to scholarly excellence, we are truly honored to have her with us today. Ma'am, we are warmly welcome you and look forward to gaining valuable insights from your expertise. Thank you. I would like to thank all of you paying heed to my words. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Jasmine, for the beautiful introduction. We now move towards the much awaited segment of today's webinar, and I request our esteemed resource person, Honorable Dr. S. Rema Devi, to deliver her speech. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are very much audible.
Okay.
Please.
And as I requested earlier, can I have the technical team to share the slides?
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Osama sir, please presenting PPT. Osama sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So good morning, all. Thank you all for those nice words. And happy to see Dr. Ansari and Dr. Brunal here virtually. And happy to meet you all. And I should be grateful always to Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mother for having given me this opportunity to meet you all virtually. And with your permission, I've asked the technical team to share the slides, ma'am, principal ma'am. Is that fine? Because we do have network issues here.
Osama sir, please share the.
Okay. Now, can I switch off the video so that I'll be clearer and the network doesn't go bad?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you. Thank you, thank you. So, obviously, when I had this invite, I had a question in mind. And thanks to Dr. Mrinal, your IQAC coordinator, Dr. Shakib, and Saina ma'am, because they've all thrown insights into the minds of the audience. Why this topic? And even when I received this invite, I had a doubt. Why this topic? Because as students of or as research scholar of literature, I do know that economics gets projected in literature now and then, or maybe quite often. But when it goes to the students, and rightly said pointed out by our principal, Dr. Mrinal, and our IQC coordinator, it will be kindling the critical thinking power of a student at point number one. And the second thing is, what happens can be felt through literature. Those were exact words that I had prepared. I'm really happy that they have thrown insights. Now, as I said, why this topic? Because literature always reflects the economic status or the economic reality of our society. So, to be honest, literature itself is an economic activity. I would say that because maybe perhaps to an extent, because we know that literature is produced and it is consumed. So obviously, it comes to an economic activity. And moreover, it's a source of study material. You find ample details there because every literature, more or less, every literature shows so many economic structures and economic relations of the society. Now, maybe most of us would be apprehensive, right? Why is economics given such importance? Perhaps we would be thinking that economics is a separate discipline. Uh, so when I change slide, I'll let you know, please. Thank you. So we'll think that economics is a separate discipline. It has something isolated from us. Obviously, no. It is always multifaceted. It is always intertwined here in our life. It is something where its presence is like salt. It's in our culture, it's in our society, but we don't find its presence visibly. But no economics, no society. So, economics plays a pivotal role there, and perhaps it shows that the quantification. See, we human beings are behind every qualitative variable, and so this economics will be showing us the quantification of the qualitative variable. And literature shows that all of these are in the complex web of characters. Um, you will find so many characters in be it a novel or short story or a poem or a prose or a work of, a drama. You find complex characters there. It's a web of characters, and perhaps all these reflect an economist understanding of how well or how human beings are well, or what are the, how is the welfare of the human beings. So this is a topic which is the need of the hour. We have our millennials here, our Gen Z kids, uh, and I do not know how many of our students here do have the habit of reading books. Can I have the next slide, please? Most of the students are used to audiobooks. Now, you know why? Because literature, as I said, literature records life. It shows, it preserves values. Um, it it transmits it gives you the knowledge, and of course we do read it for a purpose of entertaining. We know that literature has so many roles to play. It has the role of a psychologist, it has the role of a social thinker, it has the role of a spiritual leader. All these roles will I'm sorry, all these roles will be played by literature exclusively. Now, so the next slide, please. Now, as I've said here, literature, it pushes boundaries. It does not have any limitation, any constraint, or any boundary that thought process should be within this limit, within this boundary. And moreover, literature has all the language and shows you how ethical dilemmas are, or how human behavior gets changed, or what are the complexities of life, and perhaps even what are the norms of the society, or how personal struggles would be, how relationships are shaped, or how all these have an impact on human identity, or what are the choices given to human beings. So there are so many aspects discussed by literature. And now, when it comes to the next slide, please.
Ma'am, sorry for interruption.
Yes.
Ma'am, if you will be more clearly audible, that will be convenient for us. Uh, the The voice is
Pardon?
low. If you will be more clearly audible to us, that will be convenient for us, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. Am I audible now?
It's a bit slow. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible, but not very clearly audible.
Okay. Actually,
Thank
we
you,
are
ma'am.
working today, and our students are having their continuous assessment. They are writing their exams, so I thought not to disturb them. That's okay. I'll raise my phone. And thank you for the suggestion. So now, how is this literature and economics, or how do they go together? As we all know, literature, it explores the human experience. Uh, it goes behind every economic condition or every social condition. It projects what is found, and it analyzes how all these systems they shape, they give an opportunity, or how or where scarcity is felt, or where growth is praised. Now, literature and economics are good companions. They always evaluate or assess the progress. Now, as our principal ma'am said, progress doesn't merely mean that we advance materially. It's not material advancement alone. It is a complex process because every human being has struggles. Every human being has his or her own value, and every human being has his or her own choices. So all these complex processes stay rooted in the minds of a human, minds of human beings, and then they have to work on it or delve into it or go exploring it. So this is where literature and economics help them to root themselves in all this. It's a complex process, though. In the perspective of both literature and economics, people are the center. People are the main focus or the pivotal role for all social change. You can check every social change has been focused on people, people of this society. So there happens something, we come into action. What is the corrective action for that? How do we rectify this? How do we prevent this in the future? So slowly, not radically, but gradually, a change blooms. So every social change has been pushed or brought into or executed by both literature and economics. So the next slide, please. Now, when I say it's literature, you will have a question. How is literature adding into this? Now, there are so many novels. You can find novels which have been set during industrialization, how they highlight the technological, the economic process, and how both it shows the opportunities and the hardships that all these people have faced during these days. And even there were people who contributed to literature. Now, yes, for example, I'll talk of Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien. He is an English writer. Now, his thoughts were quite indifferent. What he says is, in literature, no writer creates. Normally, we see authors as creators, creator of be it a novel or a short story or a drama or a poem, they create. So we all see others as creators. But what Tolkien says is the world has been already been created. You think God has created the world? Yes, God has created. You think the world slowly evolved, the Big Bang theory? Fine, you can go with that. But either there's a religion or a science, the world has been already created. So, when an author creates something, he only sub-creates. What Tolkien says is he just invents a new world. So this new world will be a sub-creation of what already exists in reality. So this is where some literary people see Tolkien is a literary, a man from literary domain. He thinks in a different way. He is hostile to the ideas of technological development or neoliberalism. Now, similarly, there are people who are against these ideas, but end of the day, the essence of literature has always been invention. Can I have the next slide? Thank you. So now, when it comes to economics, literature is a place where an economist can broadcast or challenge his economic ideas. Now he'll be having fables idealized. He'll be having his own ideal world where his rules and regulations or his norms apply. So literature is a platform comfortable for every economist to broadcast what is happening in the society or to challenge new ideas in the society. Now, all these economists, they could borrow from literature. What they could borrow is they borrowed some ways where they could present their own ideas or they criticized the existing doctrines. So, the purpose of all these borrowing or presenting ideas or criticizing the existing doctrines is that uh, they could reflect. They could reflect on the transformation that was sensed in the society. Now, see, there are frontiers where you find a very thin line between economics and literature. And so, uh, all these reflections on the transformations were visible, were evident. And so these economists, they started to investigate, or let me say, not these economists, there were some of them, not every economist, there were some of them who started to investigate how literature could reflect economic ideas, how literature could reflect or be an open platform for arguments. Now, I think that would be the sole purpose of this webinar too. When it comes to your critical thinking, you start investigating how could literature make us feel the pain of a society. So always there is a complex link. The next slide, please. So there is always a complex link. Economics and literature, they are always linked and they portray so many national traditions. Now, you see, when it comes to the development of a society, or when it comes to the development of human beings or human knowledge, uh, there has been a long way traveled for the evolution of this. The society was not the same when we started. When I say we, I mean the Homo sapiens, the human beings. So when we started, the society was not this way. And so we had to cross centuries. We had to work on so many problems. We had to resolve all these problems to establish this developed society of today. And so, where do you think that we have taken all these raw material from? It all comes from the experiences. It all comes from the hurdles that the path setters they had experienced. The pioneers, let me say, the pioneers of the march, they would have experienced so many hurdles, so many bottlenecks, so many challenges. Now they would have resolved all these challenges and all these resolutions or all these way of solving problems or meeting out problems have been said, filed, or documented in literature in one way or the other. So here we turn to literature to gather all this knowledge and so I may be right when I say there is an interplay between economics and literature. And this interplay also, I would say now it is a twofold thing. Because one side, you see economy progressively developing. Now that will be autonomous. The development will have all its autonomy to develop, and at the same time, it has its own challenges. Literature has always portrayed all these complexities. It highlights every crucial aspect of the economy. Now, be it the connectivity of characters to their economic environment, or be it their economic choices, or be it the events that lead to their social behavior, or their individual desires that the human beings have, or even the non-economic decisions that they make. All these have a connectivity. So in more or in one way or the other, every human being or every individual is connected to systems and transformation. The slide has gone missing. Still, now when it comes to literature, be it literature or economics, problems, they are the main focus point. Can I have the next slide, please? Problems are the central point. Now, this is where the tension originates. And these problems may be either personal, social, political, or psychological. You see, ordinary literature always deals with personal problems. Personal problems, when I say personal problems, I mean they can be internal conflicts, uh, or they can be feelings like guilt or over ambitious or fear or an emotional trauma. But when literature that exclusively focuses on economic problems, it comes to social problems. You don't see it as a personal problem, you see it as a problem of the entire society, because there is where you find poverty. Poverty is, of course, now some students or some scholars may have a doubt. Isn't poverty a personal problem? Yes, it is, but you don't view it with a single man's eye. You view it as a problem for the entire society or the entire human community. So that it can be poverty, it can be inequality, or it can be gender discrimination, or some way of racial injustice, or some aspect of oppression. So
Excuse me, ma'am. Uh, ma'am.
system focuses on economic. Yes, thank you. So when all these focus yes, Miss Saima, can I continue?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Actually, you're not audible. I think there is a network issue.
Yeah, network is very poor here, and I apologize for
Okay.
that.
Okay, no problem, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for the understanding. That's why I've turned off my video to actually I wanted the screenshot with my video on, but I've turned it off because of network issues.
Fine, ma'am. Please continue.
Thank you. So, by highlighting all this injustice, all this suffering, we draw the attention of people. Now, so we expose these are the harsh realities of the society. So, here attention is needed, here some change has to be brought, and that is why we depend more on literature. Can I have the next slide, please? The next slide, please. Thank you. Now, when it comes to literature on people, we know that people form the core of literary works. As I said, there are so many personal experiences. They are all caught in a complex web and they exhibit behavioral patterns and in different behavioral patterns. But though the people are the core of the literary works, though they are the characters represented by all the writers, though they are considered as embodiment of real human emotions, though they are all a hub of experiences. These characters often represent individuals. Uh, these individuals are shaped by the society, by their culture, by the historical context, and even we do exist as samples of these people. But what I wanted to focus on is uh, there are more things apart from focusing on people. Can I have the next slide? For example, when I say that literature, the next slide, please. When I say that literature focuses on people, I've given an example here. For example, in Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, you know how he represents a strong individual. Though his life has been to dogs, he has reflected all his traditions. He doesn't want to accept the Western culture and lose his aboriginal culture. So he sticks on to that. In spite of all the tensions of the entire Igbo society, he represents a strong individual. And if you do want other examples, whom shall we say? Yeah, in William Shakespeare's Hamlet, when I said over ambitious, Hamlet crossed my mind. He's a human character. Uh, no, okay, we'll say this way. Now, Hamlet was not able to fix his mind, or he was always wavering. Uh, he was always doubting. He doubted his own moral responsibility, or be it Elizabeth Bennet from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Uh, she represented an intelligent individual. She was away from all the societal expectations. So there are people who, or there are characters like this whom we come across in our everyday life. But instead of looking into this, I would like to throw light on some random novels because people exhibit behavior, I mean, peculiar behavioral pattern only when they encounter problems. The next slide, please. But before looking into the literature that threw light on problems, with all respect, with all appreciation and acknowledgement, I bow with respect before the work of a man from India with regard to literature and economics. When we say that today in 2026 we talk about literature and economics, we would be thinking of all contemporary novels or contemporary work of fiction or contemporary literature. But here in the 3rd century BC, there was a man who wrote a book, and this textbook was not merely on economics, it was a complex discourse. It talked about administration of society. Or can I have the next slide, please? It talked about the administration of society, how politics worked. It talked about law. It discussed wealth management. It throws light on military strategy and even diplomacy. It's none other than Chanakya's Arthashastra. See, when I say contemporary literature goes with economics, back in 3rd century BC, this man was there to combine both. Now, Western economics is entirely different because it all started with your industrialization, with your capitalism, communism. But 3rd century BC, there was a man who could talk about Indian economics, which was always within moral frameworks, It valued socially. It had a very spiritual framework where it fit into. Actually, what he says is the righteousness or dharma. He says dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. They are the foundational goals of human life. So artha was considered essential. Artha means your righteousness, I'm sorry, your wealth. Dharma means your righteousness, kama is your desire, and moksha is your liberation. So what he says is wealth is important for human life. It is essential, but not supreme. So literature shows that there are certain interdependency. Now, this principle of Arthashastra, you can see that it is found in every political treatise. It is found in poetic literature. It is found in every piece of literature which questions wealth, which questions class discrimination, which questions the governing bureaucracy, or which questions the justice of the country. So, Arthashastra cannot be said it is a treatise on economics. Uh, Apart from Arthashastra, I would like to discuss a couple of books. The next slide, The Hunger Games by Susan Collins. Susan Collins is an American author, and I do not know how many of you have read this, since there are students, perhaps the faculty and scholars would have read, but to the students uh, who haven't read, I would like to tell a gist of the story. It's actually a novel by Susan Collins. She's an American author. Panama is a North American country. This country is under dictatorship, and President Snow is the dictator. Now he has control over the divisions of Panama. He divides the entire country into 12 districts, and now each of the district is specialized in producing particular goods. Now, what they do is every year, two children, one boy and one girl from all the 12 districts, will be selected. This selection would be through a lottery, and they have to participate in a compulsory televised subjugation. Now, they have to, it's a game, they have to disguise themselves as a battle royal, and they have to even die if circumstances lead to death. And this is called the Hunger Games. Now, it is a very brutal game, and for survival, what they do is they accept. The minimum age requirement is 12 to participate in these games. And so, what happens is they see their neighboring districts as rivals. And so, for survival, they kill their own brotherhood. Now, here, social inequality is at every level. Um, Here it is, there is inequity. Now, so that leads to many conflicts. For example, wealth is concentrated in the or accumulated in the hands of the people living in the capital, and the others they become poorer. The poor becomes poorer, and the citizens of the capital they don't realize that all the other district inhabitants are also as intelligent as they are, and they are also capable of having a good, having a, or leading a good life. And so, when this lack of understanding comes,
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry for the interruption.
yes,
Ma'am, with all due respect, I would like to tell you that the time will be till 11 o'clock. Uh,
but earlier you said it was for an hour.
uh, it's for 45 minutes, ma'am, actually. So I thought that I would intimate you,
Okay, anyway, thank
if
you
you
for
don't
that.
mind. Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I don't mind. Then, can I have the slides changed?
Yes, ma'am.
The next
Please
slide,
change the
please.
slide. Oh,
The next. Now, so when it comes to Indian epics, like the Mahabharata and Ramayana. Here also we are concerned about dharma, and we do have economic concerns. Um, Here we it shows how accumulation of wealth without ethics is wrong, and what happens, what are the consequences, the economic consequences of war, and even in subaltern literature we find that. The next slide, please. So, so as I've been informed that we don't have much time, I would like to rush into the topic. Post-colonial economics. Post-colonial economics always critics colonialism restructured our economy. Our economy, in the sense, the third world economy, but I would like to focus only on the Indian economy. And it examines how literature has resisted or reproduced colonial economic ideologies. Now, our wealth has been drained, our lands have been dispossessed, our labor was forced into, uh, our people were forced into labor. And so all these started getting registered in regional literature. And there is a recent trend where how literature engages with ecological and environmental economics. Now, be it the Indian tribes or be it the folk literature, there are so many reflections on sustainable living, on land rights, and on resistance to ecological exploitation. The next slide, please. Actually, I wanted to discuss in detail Aravind Adiga's The White Tiger, but since I do have only a couple of minutes, I skip this. The next, uh, can I come to progress and transformation? Progress and transformation, please. No, we are skipping this, sir. I'm skipping all these slides due to want of time. Okay, thank you. So, progress and transformation. Now, here, despite focusing on suffering and conflict, now you shouldn't have an image that literature only projects suffering. It also shows progress, be it personal or social. Now, these characters, they grow through this adversity, and societies, they move through the awareness. Um, So contemporary writers, they bring marginalized perspectives or the aspects to the forefront. They contribute to the social awareness. They talk about cultural transformation, and progress is often measured through indicators like productivity and material standards. But here, what I mean is how uplifted are we? How confident are we? Or how are we overcoming our inequality, and how we have our behavioral pattern. And when literature and economic perspectives are considered together, there should be a complete understanding of the progress that emerges. Now, economics can identify large scale patterns, it can propose solutions, and this literature will be revealing all these solutions. And these solutions will be experienced by an individual or the entire society. So this is how we integrate literary insight into economic analysis, and we can sense how these societies can move forward thoughtfully, inclusively, and sustainably. The next, I think it's a thank you slide. Yes.
Thank,
Thank
okay,
you,
madam.
ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for such an enlightening, thought-provoking, and intellectually enriching session. Your presentation was truly inspiring and reflected your vast academic experience, clarity of expression, and interdisciplinary vision. The depth of your analysis, the relevances of your perspectives, and the seamless way you connected concepts across disciplines made this session extremely valuable for all of us. Your talk has not only enhanced our understanding, but also has encouraged critical thinking and meaningful academic engagement among the participants. We deeply appreciate the time, effort, and the scholarly wisdom you shared with us today. Thank you once again for making this session truly memorable, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The guest speaker, honorable guest speaker, throwing light on different aspects of literature and economics and coordinating both the topics very beautifully. And some points that you have beautifully explained to us, like literature explores the human experience behind social and economic conditions and beautifully depicted the social change that is brought into existence through literature. Thank you so much, ma'am. And now I would like to invite our another esteemed guest speaker, Honorable Dr. Shaikh Jamal Ansari. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sana Madam. First of all, uh, respected principal of Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Malegaon, Professor Dr. Mrinal Bhardwaj, Vice Principal and convener of this one-day national webinar, Dr. Anjum, uh, HOD Economics, Dr. Rizwana Hamdani Madam, Professor Akhtar, Head Department of English, respected resource person of today, Dr. Rima Madam, dear participants, teachers and students. Very good morning to one and all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
ओके बड़ा अच्छा लगा, लोगों ने बड़ा शेर और शायरी सुनाए, स्टार्टिंग में तो एक अच्छा माहौल बना था, तो हम भी एक शेर से शुरू करते हैं, ठीक है? तो क्योंकि the topic of this webinar is a multi-dimensional and interdisciplinary approach this topic has. The people's problem, progress, literary and economic perspective. So this topic has not only literary economics perspective. This topic covers all disciplines like philosophy, history, politics, psychology, sociology. No branch of the knowledge can be untouched, cannot be remain aloof with this topic. When this topic has been assigned to me by the Hamdani madam, that sir, you have to speak on this. So first, I think what I should say on this topic, because my no doubt my topic on the health, human development. So that human is the main concern, main point. So in economics, we are talking about the GDP, national income, production. But when we raise the question for whom all these efforts are going to be taken place, हम किसके लिए करते हैं, है ना? अगर हम बात करें और थोड़ा, if you talk about the spirituality or the human history or life beyond this, तो हम अगर कहेंगे कि इस पूरी कायनात की जो तख्लीक की गई, जो कुदरत ने बनाया, किस लिए बनाया, किसके लिए बनाया, तो उसका जवाब है कि हम इंसानों के लिए बनाया, ठीक है? तो दुनिया जो कायनात है, जो कुदरत है, उसने अपनी एक उसकी दुनिया चल रही थी, लेकिन जब उन्होंने when the Almighty decided to create we the people, so that time the angels asked the questions to the Almighty, why are you creating this such a new creature, though that those will be create so many problems or like that. Then God says that no, you don't know about that. मतलब हम क्या है वो कोई नहीं जानता, सिर्फ हमारा क्रिएटर ही जानता है. तो ये this is another topic, another discipline, बट उसी के पर्सपेक्टिव में एक शेर मैं कहना चाहूँगा. अल्लामा इकबाल ने बहुत अच्छी बात कही है बाल जिब्रील में कि उरूजे आदम खाकी से अंजुम सहमे जाते हैं, उरूजे आदम खाकी से अंजुम सहमे जाते हैं, कहीं टूटा हुआ तारा महे कामिल न बन जाए. ये जो हम इंसान हैं, हम कहीं और से टूट के आ गए हैं, मतलब हम जन्नत में रहने वाले, वी आर द आवर अबोड इज द हेवन, वी हैव कम फ्रॉम देयर. इफ वी अगेन डू गुड डीड्स, देन वी अगेन गो देयर एंड वी लिव देयर. तो उस फिलॉसफी को, उस हिस्ट्री को अल्लामा इकबाल ने यहाँ कहा है. तो हम भी इसी बात को आगे लेते हुए और इंसान की अहमियत, पहला जो लाइन है, पहला जो वर्ड है इस वेबिनार का टॉपिक, पीपल्स, प्रॉब्लम्स एंड प्रोग्रेस, लिटरेरी एंड इकोनॉमिक पर्सपेक्टिव, नॉट इकोनॉमिक्स, इकोनॉमिक पर्सपेक्टिव. तो इंसान की जो अहमियत है इकोनॉमिक्स में क्या है, अभी मैडम ने लिटरेचर में बताया कि पूरी लिटरेचर अगर ह्यूमन बींग्स को टारगेट नहीं किया, उनके इश्यूज को रेज नहीं करता है, तो दैट लिटरेचर हैज नो मीनिंग. In the same way, in economics, we discuss about the production, we discuss about the distribution, we discuss about the investment, we discuss about, we make the planning of the economic development, economic growth. There are so many economic problems, but for whom, for what? When we raise this question, ठीक है, तो हमें जवाब मिलता है कि ये सारा एफर्ट्स हमको ह्यूमन बींग्स के लिए लेना है. वी हैव टू डू ऑल एफर्ट्स, ऑल activities for the human beings. Next slide, please. Next slide. People's problems and progress. So as I told, I had expressed my view that human beings is the most important or crucial object, or in economic space, the most productive factors of production, or we may say for whole economic activity revolves around that. In that sense, we can say that economic human beings are people. People is the core identity, core point. In our in Indian Constitution, we, the first opening line is the "We the people of India." When we say the "We the people," man, people means people, we all human beings, whether it is rich or poor, underprivileged, lady, male or female, from north or south, no matter. We all are Indians. We the people means all fundamental rights, duties, responsibilities, positions are for the people of India. In the same way, uh, all efforts of human history is for the human beings, for the people. So in economics, we start human beings, importance of human beings. Uh, uh, if we take review from the classical, or before them, there was the aristocrats, and classical, neoclassical, Marxist. In all that, uh, human has been acknowledged. Human beings are always acknowledged. Uh, Though its level of acknowledgement maybe will differ. Sometimes it's given more importance. In classical economists like Adam Smith, Ricardo, Malthus, they they give credit to human being, yeah, people, as a factor of production like labor. Just other factors of production, land, labor, capital. In the same way, labor is also a factor of production. In economics, participants are here, no doubt, professor, students, but in economics, everyone is known as labor. Okay, it may be skilled, unskilled, educated, uneducated, but that is labor. So a labor is considered as a part, as a integral part of production process. So when we count, when we measure development of a country in terms of GDP or GNP or national income, in that process of production, human beings are involved, peoples are involved uh, in form of labor. But later on, labor get wages, remuneration in terms of wages. Uh, but later on, human beings are not only considered as a factor of production, but also it becomes a more important factor above the labor, it known as the capital, like human capital. तो स्टेप बाय स्टेप, धीरे धीरे इंसान की जो कदर है इकोनॉमिक्स में, वो लेबर से बढ़ करके ह्यूमन कैपिटल, फिर ओवरऑल जो लेबर है उसी के लिए सारा काम हो रहा है. जब हम क्वेश्चन करते हैं फॉर होम डेवलपमेंट, डेवलपमेंट फॉर होम, किसके लिए डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है? क्योंकि ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री में हमने देखा, व्हेन वी स्टडी द ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री, इफ नॉट गो फार बियॉन्ड, इफ वी ट्रेस फ्रॉम द since independence of India, like countries before independence, most of the countries of the world were under control of the imperial powers like Britain, France, Germany, Russia, uh, Spain, Portugal. So these imperial powers were controlling all over the world, and they made them colony, and they were extracting or getting the resources, inputs or raw material from there, and finished goods from their own country from their industry, because industrialization has been taken place long back in the Britain and other European countries. So they sold the finished goods from their country to rest of the their colonies like India, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, African countries, South America, North America. Today, USA, United States of America, was the colony of the Great Britain. When these countries became independent. Uh, in case of India, if you talk about Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, when they like leaders like these great leaders, when they have resumed the responsibility to progress the country, to develop the country, when British gone from here, that time the situation of India was very poor, very pathetic. uh, we know that 35 crore people were there that time. Population of India was 35 crore, but we have not sufficient food, clothing, shelter. एब्जेक्ट पॉवर्टी, बहुत ही ज़्यादा गरीबी थी, भुखमरी थी, कोई रोजगार नहीं था, इंडस्ट्री नहीं थे। तो ऐसे वक्त में हमारे जो लीडर्स थे उनको उनके ऊपर ही जिम्मेदारी थी कि कैसे कंट्री को आगे डेवलप किया जाए। तो not only in India but other countries also like China, African country, Egypt. So they have also have a plan to develop their country. So they have started planning and they followed any model according to their requirements, resources, availability. तो हर कंट्री के लोगों ने उस वक्त में अपने मुल्क के तरक्की के लिए, अपनी आवाम की भलाई के लिए, बेहतरी के लिए, डेवलपमेंट करने के लिए कोशिश किया। उस कोशिश में जिनके पास जो भी रिसोर्सेज था, जो भी मॉडल, देयर आर सो मेनी ग्रोथ मॉडल्स, डेवलपमेंट मॉडल, वी कैन नॉट डिस्कस हियर दैट दोज मॉडल्स like balance, unbalanced development growth model, rosters development stages are there, and two sectors. There's so many development models. So whatever the models one country adopts for a country, it is different from the other countries. तो डेवलपमेंट मॉडल कंट्रीज ने अडॉप्ट किया और एक प्लानिंग के तहत, एक पॉलिसी के तहत, जो कि रशिया से लोगों ने अडॉप्ट किया, हमने भी रशिया से अडॉप्ट किया। रशिया वाज अ ग्रेट पावर दैट टाइम एंड नाउ इट इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द डोमिनेंट कंट्री इन द ग्लोबल पावर पॉलिटिक्स। तो हमने भी प्लानिंग को लिया, लेकिन हमने पूरी तरीके से नाइदर वी हैव फॉलोड द रशियन सोशलिस्ट मॉडल नॉट द कैपिटलिस्ट मॉडल ऑफ द अमेरिका, लाइक कैपिटलिस्ट पावर्स या इंपीरियल पावर्स। तो हमने एक बैलेंस और मिक्स्ड प्लानिंग, मिक्स्ड इकोनॉमी फॉलो किया और इकोनॉमी डेवलपमेंट की हमने बात किया। तो पीपल ओरिएंटेड सेंटर डेवलपमेंट की बात बाद में जब हमने डेवलपमेंट किया, दुनिया की कंट्री ने भी डेवलपमेंट किया, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम यह है कि over the time 30-40 years later we see that development has been taken place in terms of GDP, in terms of per capita, in terms of net national product, but at one side we have seen that affluent class, rich class is going to be increased day by day, and other side poor number of poor people are going to be increases. एक तरफ अमीर से अमीर लोग होते चले जा रहे हैं, दूसरी तरफ गरीब और गरीब होता चला जा रहा है। बीमारी है, माल न्यूट्रिशन है, चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी, इन्फेंट मोर्टेलिटी, मैटरनल मोर्टेलिटी, जेंडर डिस्पैरिटी. Development has been taken place, but side by side, it has been taken that development has not been percolated to the weaker or marginalized section of the society. तो नया क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि आखिर हमने डेवलपमेंट किसके लिए किया, डेवलपमेंट हुआ तो किसके लिए हुआ। तो वहाँ से फिर ये बात शुरू होती है कि हम डेवलपमेंट को ऐसा करें, ऐसा प्रोसेस अडॉप्ट करें, वी हैव टू अडॉप्ट सच अ प्रोसेस दैट मस्ट बी इंक्लूसिव, जिसमें सबको हिस्सा मिले, सब लोग शामिल हो। डेवलपमेंट इज नॉट ए वन टाइम फिनोमिना, ठीक है, इट इज ए प्रोसेस. So here in this presentation explores the dynamic interplay between the human capital, economic challenges, and pathways to sustained development. And in this deliberation, we will get a comprehensive views for our academicians, researchers, and policymakers, and for our students. Next slide, please. So, so as I uh, told here, the relationship between people and progress, problems and progress form the core analytical foundation of economic thought. Understanding this is a crucial for designing policies that foster sustainable inclusive development. तो बाद में ये एहसास हुआ पॉलिसी मेकर्स को, लीडर्स को, इकोनॉमिस्ट को, स्पेशली डेवलपमेंट इकोनॉमिस्ट जो थे उनको ये रियलाइज हुआ कि देयर इज सम फ्लॉ इन in the definition of development. Earlier, development economists followed the definition of Mayer and Baldwin. He says that development is a process whereby income of a country increase over a long period of time, provided unemployment, inequality, and disparity had not been increases. Means development का जो measurement है, उसको जो मेजर कर रहे हैं, जो उसको कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं, वो हमने जीडीपी में कैलकुलेट किया. ठीक है, ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट, दैट इज value of all final goods and services produced in a country in an accounting year. Later it has been improved and now and per capita income has been introduced, but per capita income or GDP does not ensure that the fruits of development has been distributed to all sections of the society, especially poor and marginalized section of the society. So that's why there was a huge disparity. If we give here example, in case of India, we can see that Maharashtra is no doubt a developed, most developed state in India. But on HDI ranking, it is behind the Kerala and Andhra and Tamil Nadu. गुजरात इज ऑल्सो बिहाइंड केरला. तो पर कैपिटा इनकम होना उस स्टेट का या कंट्री का इनकम होना ज़्यादा अलग चीज़ है, लेकिन वहाँ के लोगों को सही माने में डेवलपमेंट का फ़ायदा मिला कि नहीं मिला, ये तय करना एक अलग चीज़ है. तो when we see that developed country like USA, Canada, Germany, France, so Australia, but on the top rank we see the Ireland, Sweden, Scandinavian countries are the top in human development index parameters at the global level. In case of India, I have given the example. Kerala is far ahead than the Maharashtra or Gujarat. Though these are the economically well off, but in terms of human development index like education, health, nutrition, gender equality, on these parameters, Kerala is better than the Maharashtra and Gujarat. तो पीपल्स का ओरिएंटेड, इफ पीपल ओरिएंटेड डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस को हम फॉलो करेंगे तो दैट विल बी मोर प्रोडक्टिव एंड मोर फ्रूटफुल. अगर हम सवाल करें कि डेवलपमेंट कौन करेगा और किसके लिए करेगा, तो सवाल का जवाब वही आता है कि ये जैसे अब्राहम लिंकन ने कहा ना कि डेमोक्रेसी इज फॉर द पीपल, बाय द पीपल एंड ऑफ द पीपल. इन द सेम वे डेवलपमेंट इज फॉर द पीपल, बाय द पीपल एंड ऑफ द पीपल. डेवलपमेंट लोगों को इन्वॉल्व करके होना चाहिए. मतलब ऐसा कि वी आर सीइंग अ न्यू प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द जॉबलेस ग्रोथ. डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, ग्रोथ हो रहा है, इनकम कंट्री का बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन जॉब नहीं है लोगों को. मैकेनाइजेशन, मशीन का यूज हो रहा है, कैपिटल का यूज हो रहा है. पहले हम देखते थे कि कहीं रोड बन रहा है या कोई कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट है तो वहाँ पे 200, 400 मजदूर लगते थे. अभी 1-2 मजदूर है, बाकी मशीन आकर के पूरा काम कर देता है. तो लोग क्या हो रहे हैं, लोगों को हम इन्वॉल्व नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो काम तो हुआ, काम का जो वैल्यू भी है, वो वैल्यू से जो प्रॉफिट है वो किसी 1-2 लोगों के हाथ में चला गया. तो डेवलपमेंट, मेयर हैज डिफाइंड डेवलपमेंट इज ए प्रोसेस. So in that process of production, this growth, people should be involved, and this is known as the inclusive growth. Means if all sections of the society should be involved in that process, then only that development will be beneficial for the will be used for the welfare of the people, and in that case only we can mark high, get a good marks on the parameters of human development index, and in that case only we can say that we are the really a developed state or developed country or developed nation. तो डेवलपमेंट का जो इशू है पीपल ओरिएंटेड होना चाहिए, और जो प्रॉब्लम्स है प्रॉब्लम्स हमेशा से वही रहा है कि व्हाट टू प्रोड्यूस, हाउ टू प्रोड्यूस. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. तो इस सेंट्रल क्वेश्चन को लेते हुए मतलब आइडिया विद दिस सेंट्रल आइडियाज ऑफ ह्यूमन वेलफेयर, ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट, if we tackle, if policy makers or economists or all stakeholders take these fundamental questions of economics, the central economic questions like what to produce, we have in economics is normally defined as the science of choice. तो इकोनॉमिक्स चॉइस का साइंस मतलब हमको वी हैव टू choose. Why we have this question of choice? Because we are human needs. Generally, we say that human needs or wants are unlimited, but to fulfill those needs or wants are limited. Resources are limited, and with this alternative usage of these resources, we have to produce. What should we produce? We can produce. Suppose I think I have not come your Malegaon this college, but I see the address Malegaon city. So that college premises can be used. If that land can be used for the construction of any mall, any business enterprise, any purpose, or hospital or other thing. There are so many alternative use of that land. But your trust, philanthropic trust और उनका एक विजन है कि नहीं पब्लिक का आवाम की भलाई होना चाहिए, तो उन्होंने उस ज़मीन का इस्तेमाल जो है कॉलेज के लिए किया, जिसमें गरीब बच्चे, आम आदमी के बच्चे, सबके बच्चे पढ़ सके. एजुकेशन लेने के बाद उनकी ज़िंदगी बदलेगी. दे कैन कंट्रीब्यूट टू द सोसाइटी, टू द इकोनॉमी, टू द नेशन इन ए मोर पॉजिटिव वे. तो उनका एक विजन था, उसके तहत उन्होंने वहाँ कॉलेज खोला. ऐसे हमारा भी पूना कॉलेज है यहाँ, ये भी बिल्कुल शहर में है, सेंट्रल ऑफ द सिटी है. तो करोड़ रुपए का यहाँ पे बिजनेस का वो फॉर्म बना सकते थे, बिजनेस हाउस या कोई ऐसा शॉप मॉल डेवलप कर सकते थे, लेकिन इस जमीन का इस्तेमाल कॉलेज के लिए किया. ऐसे कोई किसान है, वो जमीन का अपना किस चीज के लिए इस्तेमाल करे? गेहूं पैदा करे, चावल पैदा करे, मक्का पैदा करे, या कॉटन ग्रो करे, या फिर जो है कि दूसरे जो प्रोहिबिटेड चीजें हैं वो भी ग्रो कर सकता है उस जमीन पे. या फिर और ऐसी चीजें जो कि, या वहाँ पे कोई ऐसी फैक्ट्री लगा दें कॉस्मेटिक्स की, या कोई ऐसे जो है कि लग्जरीज आइटम वहाँ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो. तो अपने पास जो भी रिसोर्सेज है वो हम उसका क्या इस्तेमाल करके क्या पैदा करें. तो हमारा विजन क्या है, हमारा मोटिव क्या है? हम आम आदमी के लिए काम करेंगे या कुछ लोगों के लिए काम करेंगे? गवर्नमेंट या पॉलिसी मेकर्स किसके लिए काम करेंगे? ठीक है. नेक्स्ट बिग क्वेश्चन इज हाउ टू प्रोड्यूस. जैसा हमने शुरू बोला कि एक्चुअली दिस शोज द टेक्निक ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. प्रोडक्शन टेक्निक में जो फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन है, लेबर है, मशीन है, कैपिटल है, और अदर फैक्टर्स है, उनका क्या प्रोपोर्शन होगा. Whether we should take more labor, we appropriate or use more capital or more labor, or production technique will be labor intensive or capital intensive. That will decide. If we use labor intensive techniques, then our development process or progress will be more inclusive, people oriented, and it will ensure equality and equity in the society. How to produce will ensure this. If our technique is appropriate, labor oriented, labor intensive. In case of India, we have to follow this labor intensive technique, not capital intensive, like the other countries, US or Germany, where capital is insufficient, in abundance. In case of India, labor is in abundance, so we always try to to produce goods or services by using more and more labor. And next, third most important question: for whom to produce? For whom to produce? हाँ? दिस हैज ऑलरेडी डिस्कस इन डिटेल्स. फॉर whom to produce, किसके लिए हम पैदा करेंगे? हाँ? कुछ लोगों के लिए, कुछ एफ्लुएंट क्लास के लिए, है ना? हमारा पीपल कौन है? वी द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया, हम सब लोग उसमें शामिल हैं, या वी द पीपल ऑफ कुछ लोग शामिल हैं? तो ऐसे पूरी दुनिया के लेवल पे देखें तो किसके लिए पूरी दुनिया की इकोनॉमी चल रही है? वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सस्टेन डेवलपमेंट गोल्स. देयर आर सो मेनी conferences, meetings at the global level. But what is the actual result? We are target. We have so many goals, 17 goals like zero hunger, no poverty, equality, gender equality. We have so many uh, points has been discussed. But what actually we are doing that? What are the end result of our efforts? So we should always keep this question in our mind when we making any plan, any efforts. So at the government level, if the government is our government elected by the people, so that government will naturally will do for the people. If government is not elected by the people, if they are like some country, their monarchy or kings are there, or बादशाह शहंशाह, अगर ऐसे लोग हैं तो फिर वो अपने हिसाब से काम करेंगे, जैसा कि पहले होता था. अभी हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे इन क्लासिकल इकोनॉमिस्ट लाइक रिकार्डो, एडम स्मिथ, द फादर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स. दे वर नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट इंटरवेंशन. वो बोलते थे कि गवर्नमेंट को दखल नहीं देना चाहिए इकोनॉमिक मैटर में. कौन? क्लासिकल इकोनॉमिस्ट. ये तो बात आई 1929 में, व्हेन ग्रेट डिप्रेशन वाज इन द Great Depression was there at a global level. So in that case, they believe, classical economists believe that classical economists were not in favor of intervention in the economy by the government. They were in support of free economy. Adam Smith, very popular notion is the invisible hand, and he has also given due
Excuse me, sir.
to the labor. He said that
Excuse me,
division
sir.
of labor. Yes, madam.
Well, sir, finish within 5 to 10 minutes, sir.
Okay, madam. I will try to finish within that time. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, major issues, major problems that was at the time of independence, and those problems are even today. We can see poverty, unemployment, inequality, malnutrition, gender inequality, gender disparity. So all these major issues are there. It is because our progress, our problems are not addressed properly. These problems economically not centered to the people, not people oriented. So these problems are even today. It's like looking like a universal phenomena or universal problem, and like a all-time problem. But we have to work on these problems: poverty, unemployment, inequality. Next slide, please. Market failures. These problems, as I had been explained, that because in some cases market do not reflect the real needs of the society. So as we have seen that unemployment or poverty or other issues, so government has to come forward. Before 1930, before Keynesian economics, Marshall, Pigou, or all classical, or before that, they were not in favor of government intervention, as I have told, because they believe or they feel or they realize that it's fact that earlier government was not elected by the people. That time there was monarchy, there was kingship. पहले राजा हुआ करते थे और राजा किसी पब्लिक से चुन के नहीं होते थे। राजा अपना खुद का अपनी उसकी एक ताकत होती थी, उसके बिना तो राजा बनता था। तो राजा अगर अच्छा बन गया लाइक अकबर या अशोका द ग्रेट, तो नो डाउट पब्लिक welfare will be at the highest level. They will do for the people. They will allocate the resources. They will do all efforts. Government machinery will work for the welfare or betterment of the society or for the common people. But in most of the kings or queens or monarchs were not uh, uh, people oriented. They think what they do, what they think good. So uh, so they can do for the betterment of the people or may not. But in case of democracy, when after 1930s or most of the country were a democratic country, after Second World War 1947 for 45 1945, most of the colonies were going to be independent from the clutches of the imperial powers. So there were also democracy. So in those cases, government has to come forward. Government have had come and they make policy for the betterment of the people. There are so many cases or examples where market cannot guide properly. In case of public goods, defense or infrastructure, uh, we cannot depend on the demand and supply of defense or roads, demand of electricity. These services should be provided by the government. And these services or goods has a long gestation period. They require huge amount of investment, and they do not give returns very early stages. So government can only take initiative. A government can do on investment in these cases. And externality, as we know that pollution or like those issues, it does not market the cost of product cannot show the cannot calculate the cost of environmental degradation or other issues cannot be considered in the private cost. So government has to uh, impose tax on these goods or services who are causing the harms to the environment of the society at large. Next slide, please. So in case of market failure, government has to take initiative, and government has to guide the economy. So government interventions is needed in these cases. These are the important examples or points where government has to come forward. The other structural changes again like that, poverty, inequality, scarcity, these issues should be handled with the help of uh, government agencies. Uh, Government should not depend only on the markets. Next slide, please. Uh, these are the historical evolution of the uh, uh, evolution of the economic thought or classical political economy, neoclassical. We have discussed in detail. Now we skip these parts. Next slide. Next. We can see again once for classical, neoclassical, Marxian, Keynesian, neoclassical, endogenous. So all this shows how the human human beings, people, or labor recognition has been acknowledged, given importance more and more over the time, from classical to modern days. And the classical economy believe or give importance human beings as only resource as a labor. But now we Amartya Sen, like economists say, human beings, all efforts for them. Humans are not only a labor or a resource; it is a capital. Hmm. And if you'll be educated, give impart skills, training, it will be more productive, and economy will be more sustainable as well as inclusive. Next slide, please. Human capital. Now we come to this spot again. The same points. If we give more education, skills, provide health facilities, make provision for health for all, uh, nutrition, shelter, food, water, clothing, mm, education, liberty, gender equality. If you ensure this, so that human will be more productive as well as sustainable, ensure sustainable as well as inclusive growth and development. Next slide, please. How we measure multidimensional advancement of production, HDI. Earlier we measure in terms of GDP, GNP, per capita income. Now human development. uh, Human development index has three dimensions: education, health, and per capita income. Oh, but now multidimensional poverty has been is in practice, and we include more variables of the human development. Uh, Next, here are some examples: South Korea or Singapore, India का Kerala model. I have discussed earlier. Okay, countries those who have not natural resources but they are able to uh, uh, develop their human resource, that country can be a developed country, now a developed country. For example, South Korea or Japan has a scarcity or is facing the problems of natural resources, but due to advanced or high level of human development, human capital, Japan is now a developed country. India as abundance of natural resources, it is said for the India that India is a rich country. India एक धनी मुल्क है. India is a rich country, but its people are poor because we have not that level of human resource, human capital. Our human beings are not such level of education. We're not skilled. We have to work on that directions. Then only the demographic dividend that we have. We have youth population, highest youth population in the world. So we have to give education to our youths, give a skill, required skills, so that they can contribute economically, well, and ensure more inclusive as well as sustainable growth and development. Next, these are some blueprints for the sustained growth, sustainable development, or inclusive growth. We have to prioritize human capital, address structural problems, as well as we have to strengthen our institutions, government bodies, or all institutions involved in the process of productions in economy. We have to promote innovations, new research. For that, we have to invest on research and development or education so that we can get more uh, advanced level of development. Next, please. Here are policy solutions and pathways. Education and investment, as we have seen that the recommended level of investment for the uh, of the GDP has not been met even today. Healthcare system is not adequate to address the problems of all. So we have to invest more in the health system. No doubt we see medical tourism in so many cities, so many regions in India, but most of the people uh, in India have not medical facilities. Even number of doctors is very less. As per one study, one doctor is at 1700 people's, one data I have studied. So government has to work on these sectors: uh, social safety nets, infrastructure, environmental regulation. We have to work on this. Then only we can make our people mm, more progressive, and ensure more progress. So at the concluding points, I can say that progress is not merely wealth accumulation but expansion of human freedom and capability. Policy coordination addresses emerging challenges, climate change, and aging population and global inequality. With this, once again, I told you, human being is the center at the core, and like democracy, I wish, sorry, development should be people oriented, and we should ensure more inclusive growth, so that people's development should be taken place, and we will be able to free India from the hunger, disparity, and poverty. With this remark, I conclude. Next, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was really impressive lecture, sir. And that as you
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address. Now I'm here for the vote of thanks. Respected principal of our college, honorable vice principal, esteemed resource persons, faculties, dear participants and students. It's my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks for today's national webinar. First and the foremost, I express our heartfelt gratitude to our resource persons, Professor Dr. Shahid Jamal and Professor Reema Devi, for delivering such an informative, insightful, and intellectual enriching session. I express my sincere thanks to our honorable principal and vice principal for their continuous encouragement, guidance, and support, without which this webinar would not be possible. My appreciation also goes to organizing team for their meticulous planning, coordination, and execution of the webinar. I'm thankful to IQAC coordinator, Dr. Shakib Ahmed, for his sincere cooperation. I acknowledge the efforts of the technical team, Abdullah Noble sir, Professor Osama Abdullah, Professor Saad Amir, for their efficient managing the online platform without disrupting throughout the session. Last not at least, I am obliged to all faculties from our college, from outside of the college, research scholars, students, for making this webinar a grand success. Thank you. Thanks a lot once again. Saima ma'am, over to you.
thank you, ma'am. With this, we come to the end of today's enriching session. Thank you all for active participation and cooperation. Stay safe, stay inspired, and keep learning. Have a wonderful day ahead. With due permission of ma'am, I declare the end of the program.
Kindly fill the feedback form so that participants may get their certificates, e-certificates.
Feedback link is already posted in the chat box. Everybody can refer it from there.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Again, the program is ended.